Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Howard Berger from Realcomm, and I'm here with two of my favorite people on the planet. My far left, Tama Huang, a strategic advisor to Cherre, although she's held a few other jobs in her life, and Ilene Goldfine, Senior Vice President, Chief Digital Strategy Officer at Hines. And we've had some fun putting this together, right? Yeah. We've been working together on a few new things, blazing some new territory, and one of them being really expanding the focus on diversity and inclusion, not only in our industry here, using Realcomm as a platform, which we hadn't really done in a big way before. I think.
And we thank you. We thank you. We really thank you.
I think we left a mark this year.
I really do, Howard, and something we've been talking about for a while, and really thanks to Realcomm for making it happen.
Yes.
Oh, you guys, I mean, you drove it. I mean, let's talk a little bit about the vision, how you guys got together around this, and what it means to you, and did we, I know we'd set certain goals and visions. I think we did kind of got in there.
It's a great first start. I really do, and it isn't that we had the answers, right? Nobody has the answers to this, but I think when we get together as a community and really challenge ourselves, it's a journey. Even the planning of what we ended up doing here this year was a journey. We started out kind of thinking, do we do a networking event? And then when we got talking about it, to me, it's always really important to get to intersectionality, not just the women get together here and the people of color get together there, and happy Pride Month to everyone as well. So it really was a matter of how do we reach intersectionality, and most importantly, how do we find our allies, right? I mean, I can look around this conference. I don't need you to tell me who the women are. I see you, okay? We know each other.
We know, yeah.
But the ability to really create a forum and a platform to bring the allies together so that we see you, right? And that you see us. And we're really grateful to have been able to do that here this year. We got 7:30 in the morning after a night in Vegas. That is
It's a labor of love, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're showing up with intentionality when you come to that.
I was really surprised at the diversity of people who walked into that room.
And well, that's about the allies, right? I don't know if this is Mike. I don't know if the mic's on or not.
I thought I got it at first. I mean, from that day we went to lunch with you and me and Hope, the Chinese place, and started talking about it. I kind of developed a concept and an idea that kind of stuck with me around it, but it went a lot deeper than that. And I found as we were going through the process that do you want to talk a little bit about that vision and why you thought it was so important that we do this? Because that really pushed,
So I feel like, I was looking, we're here for 25 years, right? And I was thinking back in my career, and I think you do the same, Ilene, and so many steps along the way. Allies have supported me, yourself included, Howard and Jim and Realcomm. It is about the advocacy that you have always had. What I would say, like the opening of the door from the inside that has let others in. And it, for me, at this point in my career, was a matter of how do we give that back? How do we excite the next generation of young talent to think of this industry, to think of real estate, to think of technology as something they really want to get into? And to me, I love seeing this here right now. At Realcomm, we have our established technology vendors. You have a bunch of great prop tech startups. You have both IT and OT coming together. And most importantly, the new and fresh faces. I mean, that really is what this was about. And when I came to you and I said, hey, Howard, we have to create a more inclusive future. We have to create a more exciting future to bring that talent in and support that talent, and that really was the vision.
And we put a stake in the sand with our, not just advocacy, but support of organizations like Stacks and Jewels.
Absolutely.
Which I think just exemplifies everything that we're talking about.
Right.
Creating
well, and
those.
it's because it is about the younger generation. I mean, to me, that's what all this is about, right? Is what's the legacy you leave behind?
Yeah.
Legacy is the next generations and continuing that on and all that. So that's Stacks and Jewels. That's things that we do with other organizations, that I know you do with other organizations. That's what it's about, and we've got to give back in that way. I mean, I've been blessed and so fortunate for everything I've had in my career. I believe you think the same, and so we have. I mean, that's what we have to do. There's no other way to even think about it.
We hit a point in our careers, all of a sudden we start talking about legacy.
Well, to me, the kids get older and you start looking at it, you're like, oh,
but
okay, yes. But.
It's important.
Well, and honestly, we're blessed. I mean, every single day you wake up and you think to yourself, how did I get here? And this is an amazing industry, and I work for amazing companies and all that. So you've got to think about it that way, and how you give back.
Yeah.
And the other really important thing in terms of real talk and allies breaking barriers is about the intentionality of conversations.
Yes.
And the authentic selves that we can bring to this. And that's really the call to action for everyone, is make every conversation you have be one with great intentionality, and always bring your authentic selves.
Well, and as we discussed yesterday, always you see something, say something, okay? We have to be able to have that open dialogue. We have to be able to have real conversations, real talk, so that basically you see something, you say something, and you teach people, because people don't know. People, they say something and they don't even think how it would be. Like the example yesterday in your panel about, the interview, whether or not English is your first language, right? And things like that. So people don't do things purposely sometimes. You've got to say something.
It's funny because to me, yeah, we can teach, but honestly, the best teachers for me have been my own children, right? That I learned from the next generation so much. We live in Seattle now, so we go tide pooling with the kids, and the kids actually taught me how to tell male from female crabs. They're walking around the beach and they're looking at the crabs, and if it's a circle, it's one; if it's a triangle in the belly, it's the other. And they literally pick the crabs up and go, he, she, he, they, he, she. Right? And that's what I mean by the next generation doesn't have our biases, doesn't have our constraints, and they are the ones teaching.
Well,
can I just say a funny story about my girls? So I have 2 teenage girls, right? And I was talking to them about the fact I am the Central D&I champion for Hines. So we have different regions, so I oversee D&I for the Central region and help set objectives and things like that. And my girls looked at me and they said, why you? And I said, because maybe I'm a female? And they said, well, that's not a big thing. And I thought, amazing. Okay, it's not a thing to them, right? And I thought, that is fantastic. I'm so excited about that, because they don't have the biases, they don't have that. And it was just like, you're right, it's not a thing.
See, we're injecting a topic into an industry that's had some fairly stiff biases over the generations. And I think to have these conversations, correct me if I'm wrong, it requires us to be vulnerable.
Absolutely.
To be somewhat open, to be vulnerable. And I've been really impressed with the level of how people have allowed themselves to open up in ways that I hadn't really expected. And I just think that is so inherently good in so many ways for our industry, that we can open up, have that level of honesty and vulnerability.
Well, I'm looking at Veronica right there, who brought her full vulnerable self to the breakfast yesterday, and it was amazing.
I heard some of those stories.
It was amazing.
I heard Jesse had people in tears, or Jesse was in tears too. Yeah.
Yes.
And we have barely scratched the surface, Howard. We are really excited about just how well kind of this inaugural event went, and we're looking forward to many more.
Many more.
While we got a couple of seconds left, what I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think? What next steps? What should we?
Well, we're already
what
planning
could this
next
look like?
year's.
Yeah.
We've already started.
Yeah, okay.
Are you kidding? We've already started.
All right.
That's not a problem.
I mean, we want to get feedback from you, from Realcomm, from the participants here, and And
The feedback so far is that was one of the best sessions that we've had, just the session-wise. We've never done a focused track, like our Real Talk track. I think it made sense. And I think from all indications, it worked, and that my biggest question is how responsive is our industry going to be?
Oh, they're going to be responsive because...
I think we got the messages loud and clear. So
And-
yes, we have to.
And it's like I like to say, and we'll keep pushing that boulder uphill until they are responsive.
Yeah. Well, listen, it has been a pleasure. Thank you both
Thank
for
you.
everything you did. Yeah, it was a journey and a wonderful journey building that with you, and I thank you both for everything.
Thank you.
No, we thank you.
Thank you. We
All right.
thank you.
Thanks.